to Smackdown's New Year's Revolution. Obviously, the Fatal 4-Way was set up to determine between Randy Orton and AJ Styles and LA Knight. And the Bloodline, led by Roman Reigns, derailed that to a sense. And it was a great match between the three of them. Everyone was getting good views in, good shots in. And the Bloodline came out, and Roman basically decimated everybody. I believe LA Knight took a spear and a Samoan spike to basically end the mayhem. And Nick Aldis basically told Paul Heyman at ringside, hey, good job. Now he has to face all three of these guys in a fatal 4-way at the Rumble. So what do you guys think about that, the match and the follow-up?
It's so funny that literally I think last week we all said like it'd be crazy if it was a fatal 4-way.
Yeah, I think I threw it out there. Like I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, it'd be crazy. And it's like honestly, it's such a stacked like amount of people that it's just like why not? Even though I don't know, even though I would like to see Randy, LA Knight, and AJ all in the Rumble, but it's like I guess that just adds more to the fucking Rumble, like how stacked this show is gonna be. And I think the crazy thing is I think we're all just more focused on who's gonna run the Rumble, and then to think that there's still more to the Rumble than just the Rumble. It's like
that's the thing, because the Rumble has so many matches on it that are good undercard matches that everyone focuses on the Rumble, but then you get these killer wrestling title matches, and it's just like this is going to be added to it. So, and it's funny because just like you said, that means these three guys aren't in the Rumble.
Yeah.
So now that changes a lot as well.
Yeah.
Are they going to be in the Rumble as a result?
mean, we've seen in the past where guys like Brock Lesnar and Becky Lynch sneak in after a match, but it's like I don't see any of these guys really doing that.
Yeah, no.
It's usually the undercard guys that go into the Rumble from the Intercontinental U.S. title matches that go into the Rumble. Not really so much the main event title.
The Rumble always finishes the pay-per-view, right? Or no?
Not always.
Remember last year they kicked it off with the Men's Royal Rumble?
Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah, they kicked it off, and then Roman and KO main evented. That's when Sammy got the pop of the world when he hit Roman with the chair.
So they do it different. They put it in different spots, which is interesting. But usually, most of the time, in main events, but not always.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But we had mentioned it last week that there was a possibility they would go in this direction. I think I saw a report that initially it was going to be Orton and Reigns, but then they didn't want to beat Randy Orton so soon, and because they still see that there's money in that feud, seeing as that Randy was out for a year, and that was his last interaction was with the Bloodline. So as far as the competitors go, obviously, AJ Styles, that speaks for himself. Randy Orton, same thing. LA Knight still on the rise. So because I think I had said last week, I mean, all three of these guys have a legitimate gripe with Roman. So much so that each one of them has their own individual feud with them. So that's the reason why I had brought up, like, I wouldn't be surprised if they go fatal 4-way, because they all have a legit gripe to go after him. So they went in that direction. And I'll say this much: Paul Heyman, as far as like facial expressions and such goes, he really is, like Daniel, I think you said in the chat, he really is one of the best in the business. Paul Heyman, whether it's manager, advocate, special counsel, whatever title it is, Paul Heyman, it simply is the GOAT. And I want to give a prediction. By the end of 2024, Nick Aldis is going to have a match.
He should,
for sure.
He should, because he's still in wrestling shape. He should.
By the end of the year, he's going to have that one match. And I think the only reason why they gave him this general manager role is so the audience could get used to him and get to know him. And then they eventually going to transition him into.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did, because I think they're going to go this way with this year. How they've been talking, how Nick Aldis has been in that heavy GM role, is that they're going to be doing brand supremacy at some point, and that him and Adam Pearce can have a match at some point. I think that's the angle they're going to go. But in regards to what,
do you really want to see Adam Pearce in a match?
I mean, he used to wrestle.
I know he does. I know he did.
He's a 2 former NWA champions.
They used to get like Adam Pearce can still go. I'm pretty sure those
Rap
guys.
Daddy, Adam Pearce.
I mean, I know we saw the bloodline storyline where he got beat up and was made the number 1 contender at that point in time, but we're far from that. But in regards to this match, it's just like I like the storyline. I mean, again, that match was awesome. Like, and we thought we were going to get a legitimate winner, and then it just went mayhem, which didn't hurt it. Which usually we don't like countouts and DQs and uncertainty, but we got the result that we all wanted. So I mean, I like it from that standpoint. Everyone looked good. And it's going to be interesting at the Rumble because now what you guys said about what Brian said, the report of them saying there's more money on the table with a Randy and Roman feud. It's like, when is that going to happen? That's the thing now that's another monkey wrench into it because it's like, how long is Roman going to have this title now? Like, how is he? If Randy, if do you need the title with that or do you not? It's like
We'll know for sure after the
WrestleMania 40.
Oh, okay. After the Rumble, we'll know for sure.
I keep seeing, I don't know. I keep seeing some people saying, "Oh, they need to have him. They need to have Roman beat like Hogan's title reign. They need." I don't know. I just want Roman to lose the title at this point. Like, I need a change. It's been too long.
Change needs to happen on the other show. That's where the change needs to happen.
The change. And excuse me, aren't you the one that wants someone to finish a story and you don't want change?
No, I want change on the other show right now.
That's the person Raw.
That's the person who needed to change their title. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
You don't want Roman to lose his title at this point?
Not right now. Not right now.
Not even at Mania?
He's going to drop the title at Mania. I think that's the right thing.
So?
I think that's the right thing. And I don't know, with this whole monkey wrench, especially what Brian mentioned in that report, it's like, why would you save Randy and Roman right now, especially when you don't know how long Randy's got, how long that injury is going to flare up, or what's going to happen with that. Randy's older.
See, I don't think that feud needs the title though, because it's the classic feud of you took me out, now I'm back to take you out, isn't it? Isn't that the story?
Roman's the man right now.
I think just because Randy coming back, and I mean, I don't know. I know WWE doesn't usually. I mean, I think just because kind of we saw with Edge, like him coming back and like never getting the title, it's like I want another Randy title reign. Not that it's needed, but I think he's kind of earned it at this point because it's been so long. And he's had the tag titles and stuff like that, but it's like I feel.
I mean, I think as I said, I think if there's going to be a feud for Randy Orton, it's going to be Cody Rhodes after WrestleMania 40. And you can have that long story in term looking at hey, we were in a group together. I brought you in.
Yeah.
Like, I know your father, et cetera, et cetera. And then you can really play the heat because Randy really kicked those guys' asses. And you know what I mean? So, I mean, it's in a different stage now where Cody's not a young pup anymore. He's not a young buck. He's older, he's mature, he's the champion. So that's definitely a match that they can instantly put together.
That's like a SummerSlam
after WrestleMania 40, but it's just like
SummerSlam or something.
Yeah. Like we still that's the thing. Like it's like we still got to get there. You know what I mean? Like we even got to get to WrestleMania. We got to get to the Rumble and see what happens. It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Well, wait, Randy's on SmackDown. Why in the world would he ever face Cody?
If Cody wins the title, he goes to SmackDown. He doesn't have to play politics anymore. He can just actually go there.
I think he can go to SmackDown right now because he just has that power. He can bring people places. He can draft whoever he wants. He can cut deals. Maybe throw himself. Maybe give himself the 30 spot. Maybe he could do that.
Hey. Shawn Michaels did it. Other greats have done it before him. That's all I'm saying. Triple H has done it.
And you know what's funny is that on Raw, they mentioned that they're like, "Oh, can Cody do like Stone Cold and win the Rumble 2 years in a row?" And I'm like, nope.
I'm just saying. It's in play. It's in play.
Dan, would you officially like to make a wager on Cody winning the Rumble this year?
Cody Rhodes is winning the Rumble.
I will bet you that he does not.
Okay, we got to make a wager on it. Make it
Gotta be a good one.
All right.
Yeah, we might as well. I mean, this is how many months in the making of this?
It's like almost a whole year.
It's like a whole year. Yes, a whole year.
Long-term booking.
So it's like May. It's like May
since WrestleMania. Long-term booking.
Yeah.
But let's move into our next segment here. We have Kevin Owens to face Logan Paul at the Royal Rumble after defeating Santos Escobar in the number 1 contenders title tournament for the U.S. title. What do you guys think about that and the interaction between Kevin Owens and Paul afterwards?
This is actually a very good matchup as far as like the characters go. Because a lot of people forget. I think it was in 2019 when Logan Paul first started working with WWE before he got into the ring. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, they had a match at WrestleMania that year that was at MetLife, and Logan Paul was involved. This is when they tried to make Logan Paul a baby face, but obviously that didn't work out. He's a natural heel. So they've worked together. They worked together before. You see Kevin Owens. Since the Sami Zayn split, he's been on SmackDown. It's funny because you look at the situation he's in right now with Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, and you ask yourself, gee, who can help him at this moment? And be the guy they just separated him from. I wonder if that's going to lead to something down the line. But I'm definitely looking forward to this matchup. Since Logan Paul's been in the ring, each performance he tops himself somehow. He's definitely gotten to that point right now where it's like you kind of look forward to a Logan Paul match. So the characters are there. I mean the story is there. I'm expecting Logan Paul to retain. More so because of Kevin Owens still isn't done with Theory and Waller. But definitely looking forward to this. Kevin KO and Santos, they had a great match on SmackDown, very entertaining, and definitely something to look forward to with KO and Logan Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a good match. I saw most of it. Santos showing out, KO doing what he does. Obviously, it makes sense for KO to win, just like the baby face versus the big heel. And I kind of like this, I feel like with KO now at his character, it's like for him now, it's like less is more with him. We know KO can cut great promos. I just feel like lately he hasn't even been saying much. It's just been like, come on, let's just fight.
Straight to it.
Let's just get to it. And I think it's great, because, KO is obviously, he has a rough style that does a lot of wear and tear on his body. So, he is another person that could be also slowing down. Like Brian, I don't think Logan's losing the title right now. I think if he does lose the title, it's probably going to be somebody who's up and coming and really needs the title. KO doesn't really need the title right now. Yeah, it'd be a nice pop, but it's like Logan just got this title, and for him to lose it real quick, I think would kind of hurt his character that he's built up at this point. Just saying like, "Oh, I'm the greatest U.S. champion ever," this and that, and it's just like it's going to be a classic heel versus babyface, and I'm pretty sure Kevin Owens is going to elevate Logan. Probably, it might be like one of his better matches as well. Just because I feel like usually whoever Kevin Owens goes against, it's always usually a pretty good match. There should definitely be a great matchup at the Rumble between them two. But I for sure don't see Logan losing that title anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, again, speaking on Kevin Owens, I was kind of worried of what direction they were going with him because he came back as a commentator. I didn't really know what he was doing at that point, and he was kind of drifting in and out, and then he started challenging people. And now he's in this tournament that gave him some type of purpose. So I'm glad to see that. And the whole playing with the cast, I love that. It brings back to Bob Orton, old school wrestlers and stuff like that, for him to use the cast and stuff like that.
Big
him
Show.
knocking out, Big Show. Him knocking out Logan Paul. So that's definitely going to play a part at the Royal Rumble. So we see how much that's going to play a part with the cast and stuff like that. But as you said, it should be a pretty good match. Kevin Owens is always going to give his all and do some pretty gnarly stuff in the match. And this is going to kind of showcase Logan Paul a little bit, to showcase his heel skills and see how much better he's gotten over the past couple months since his last match. So definitely going to be interesting. I like the fact that I love tournaments in wrestling because it actually gives some type of intrigue. You want to know who's going to win, what storylines branch from it. So to get this at the end of it, Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens, they're going to be some good promos over the next couple of weeks. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play it up. And I can't wait to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait. Let's move over to Tyler Bate joining Pete Dunne to defeat Pretty Deadly. Obviously, I think we all said that was going to be Tyler Bate, just basically how his NXT was and stuff like that. And they get the win over Pretty Deadly. I thought it was awesome. I love these two guys fighting with each other. But what do you guys think about Pete Dunne? Hopefully, I said Pete Dunne. They still calling him Butch. Hopefully, he transfers back to Pete Dunne at some point.
I don't think he's going back to Pete Dunne anytime soon, but one can hope. I think it's great that Tyler Bate is finally got called up. Definitely a long time coming. I feel like he's one of those guys that has a very unique style, very unique moveset that, I feel like the crowd hasn't seen before. And I think that pairing is just going to work great. I do think is going to lead to some type of heel turn from Butch, because just like from what his character was back in NXT, and I think he was a great heel, and I feel like they need to showcase that at some point. But I think to get more eyes on him and more on who Tyler Bate is, I think it's going to work well for them right now. So when that time comes, hopefully they get a nice feud out of it. But I'm definitely happy to see him, Tyler Bate, come up and everything. Pretty Deadly, I think they're actually a pretty good tag team. I didn't see much of their work in NXT, but from what I've seen right now, very flamboyant and stuff. But like, there's more depth to them, and I think
they know how to work as heels.
Yeah,
they know how to work as
heels.
heels.
Do more than just like the stupid shtick. Like they can actually like interact with people and like get things going. So I think they're definitely a solid tag team that at some point could definitely easily be tag team champions if we can
weasel their way to the tag.
Damn titles. I don't know what we're waiting for. I swear, by WrestleMania, we don't have split tag titles. It's just like, just get rid of the tag team division at this point. I'm tired of waiting.
Lewis, I don't think that separation is going to happen until after WrestleMania.
I know. It's just
so
long. It's so long.
Yeah, I think they're just going to ride it out and then let after WrestleMania be the reset, and then they'll go into those plans. But love seeing finally that Tyler Bates on the main roster. He's also somebody else that I followed since NXT UK, that tournament that they had. The fact that he was only, I think, 18, 19 at the time when he won that tournament. So fast forward to now, how old is Tyler Bate? Like 24, 25, still so young. So young, still able to compete. Like Lewis said, he has such a unique style. Like I think I mentioned last week that before NXT UK, him and Pete Dunne with Trent Seven were in a stable called British Strong Style, so they already have that history there. And I feel as though Tyler Bate, and this may be controversial, Tyler Bate is going to be what I felt like Johnny Gargano should be right now. And what I mean by that is when Johnny Gargano first came back to WWE, came back to Monday Night Raw, I thought that it was going to be very Bryan Danielson-esque for Johnny Gargano, because I felt as though with his experience on the independents, the fact that he is pretty much NXT, he's done everything that you can do in NXT, and I felt that with all of that combined with the fact that Triple H is in charge of booking now, I thought that would mean that your next Daniel Bryan is going to be Johnny Gargano. So far, that hasn't panned out. They put him back with Ciampa and DIY, so that may still occur. We just have to wait and see. But with Tyler Bate, you can get that Daniel Bryan s character out of him, because he already has the in ring ability. He already has the history of great matches. I think matter of fact, I think a match between him and Pete Dunne was a match of the year one year for one of the takeover events. So you already have that with Tyler Bate. So you can definitely create another Daniel Bryan-esque character through him. So because of that, sky's the limit for Tyler Bate. And when he was in NXT at the very tail end, you could tell that he was starting to get like lost in the shuffle. The combination of guys from the main roster coming down to guys still coming up. So you could tell it was time for a change, and I'm glad that he's finally got that opportunity now.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, yeah, and you guys talking about especially him having that Daniel Bryan run, that could happen with Pete Dunne heel turn, and I feel like they can have some type of rivalry that propels him up. And he's been a great ring worker, one of the best from NXT UK and stuff like that. So he definitely has a way. Hopefully, they showcase his skills like they've been doing other guys like the Dragon Lee and other guys like that who have been called up recently. So with Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, other guys that have been called up from NXT. Hopefully, they continue to do that on SmackDown, and hopefully Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne can find their footing right now, because Pete Dunne, especially without Rich Holland, without Sheamus, has been lost in the shuffle a little bit. So hopefully him and Tyler Bate, hopefully they're a tag team for a little bit, but hopefully this is a way that they can showcase them long term. But moving on, Iyo Sky retaining against Mia Yim for the WWE Women's Championship. I thought this was a great match. Oh, my bad. Sorry, WWE.
They settled on the name now. It's Meechin.
Meechin. My bad. I'm sorry. My bad. It's supposed to mean crazy in Korean, right? Or something like that, or... Yeah,
that's what it means. Crazy in Korean.
They tried to give that gimmick to Liv Morgan. It should have been Mia Yim. They just didn't run with it. They just didn't do it right. Right. But I thought this was a good match. Showcasing Mia Yim, kind of similar to how they did Ivy Nile on Raw versus Rhea Ripley. They're really getting these women who haven't had much of a showcase. They're sitting there in these matches and showcasing them. And I thought Mia Yim looked great in this match.
She definitely did. She really looked good. This is the best that she's looked since
NXT.
The most recent thing. Yeah, since NXT. Yeah, I'm trying to think of a time in NXT where she looked as good, and the only thing I could think of is when she had a title match with Shayna Baszler at one of those takeovers.
She had a gnarly hardcore match against somebody. I can't remember. I think it was I can't remember if it was Nikki Cross or was it Iyo Sky at that point? I can't remember.
It could have been match. But this was definitely a great showing from Meechin. Since she came back and then she joined the OC. Some people felt that she was out of place. I thought she fit in the group because she already has that rough exterior that I thought matched what the OC brings. But she's been lost in the shuffle for a long time. I think last Survivor Series of 2022, she was in the women's war games match, and since then, she hadn't done much, and she's another female that has so much talent, and I'm glad that she was finally able. She was chosen to kind of showcase that talent for everyone, because after this match, I was even saying, now this coming Friday, if they don't have a promo package thrown together trying to hype her up and trying to give some background, trying to get people to get behind her, if they don't do that for her next week, then your hands should be
Is it just a one? Is it just a
because at that point, exactly, it'd just be a one and done. I mean, it was such a good match, and it was a good showing from her, and it showed that you can do something with this girl. You might as well take advantage of it, and let's do some promo packages. Let's get her into another program. I understand SmackDown's only 2 hours. It's 2 hours, and the women's division is such right now that everybody can't get an opportunity. But there's some gems that stick out, and I feel like Michin is one of those gems, and you might as well at this point. And if you're not going to do that, then put her in that tag team with Zelina Vega. I think that was something a lot of people that were suggesting. But the point is, after this match, moving forward, you need to be doing something with Michin or setting her up for something bigger down the line.
Yeah, for sure. I was a big fan of hers in NXT, even though she never really got the NXT title. But I don't know. I liked her presentation. I liked her character and everything. And I don't know. For me, with the OC, I understood it. Obviously, the situation they were in.
Just never led to anything.
Yeah, it really didn't. And then, half of them getting injured, AJ getting injured is there was a lot of. It's like they probably could have done more, but with the injuries, I feel like it definitely cut that short. So I don't know. Hopefully, this isn't the end of her showing. Hopefully she gets more consistently, more airtime, so people can see who she is and not just little backstage segments and everything. So. There's a lot of females in the locker room that are still underutilized. We got a glimpse of Xia Li, and then she lost to Becky and just kind of disappeared.
We haven't seen her since, yeah.
Yeah, and we're still waiting to see what's going on with Nikki Cross, whatever the hell that is.
She had a whole different character change of her just being mute about everything, and it looks like they just dropped that entirely.
Yeah. And it's just there are women on the roster that maybe.
Well, she's gonna be in the Rumble if she stands there.
Yeah,
she enters the Rumble and then all right. If that's the case, if they end up doing that at the Rumble, it has to lead to something then by that point, because people aren't going to remember her just standing there mute, unless it's us, obviously. But other fans aren't going to remember all that stuff because she hasn't been on TV. So if they do that at the Rumble, it has to lead to something, or she does that gets eliminated by somebody, and then that's her next feud or something.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And she turns crazy, which she should be.
She already is crazy.
Like I've been saying.
She's already crazy. You're mute in the wrestling.
They need to magnify
it. Yeah.
They need to magnify that. But yeah, Iyo Sky having a good showing as well, defeating Michin. Really good match. Thought it was solid. Had time. I think it was almost 10 minutes or so. But had a pretty good time limit and was good. Good for everybody involved. And Iyo winning clean. That's another thing. She didn't have any help from Damage Control in that whole aspect. So that adds a little layer to that she's able to hold her title on her own. But let's move on to another big event that happened there is the return of Karrion Kross with the Authors of Pain, and Paul Ellington and Scarlett. The Hurt Business came out and basically talking about how year 2023 wasn't what they wanted. How Bobby Lashley pairing up with the Street Profits was the best thing, though, and what their actions are for 2024. And all of a sudden, Karrion Kross comes out, and then Paul Ellington comes out behind him, easily hid behind him. The Authors of Pain attacked the Hurt Business. They attacked the Hurt Business, and apparently this is the new faction on SmackDown. What do you guys think about this? First of all, the Hurt Business actually being known as baby faces. And this new collection of the Karrion Kross and Authors of Pain. I forgot. I saw the name of that. They were going to try to go the New Testament. Apparently, that's the name of the overall group that they're going for. So, what do you guys think?
The New Testament.
The return of the Authors of Pain.
Sounds better than the Undisputed Kingdom. Just
I was always a big fan of AOP. I was always a huge fan of AOP. I felt like when they got their NXT run, I think it was well deserved just because they're fucking massive men, clubbering guys and everything. But their WWE run was it was just very short, and I don't think they had any real direction for what they were or who they were or what they were going to do. And did they come up with Paul Ellering last time?
Did. No, they did on the first night. And then they left Paul Ellering the same night.
Yeah, it was weird.
I was just about to get into how frustrating that was, but go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm glad that they're back. I'm glad they brought him in. This group looks great. I feel like it could easily be like something like Contest the Judgment Day, but I don't know if they'll push them that far. And the only thing I don't like about this whole thing with Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits is like they'll do heelish things, they'll do shit clean, they'll do shit like it's like so back and forth. You never really know.
They don't know what to do with it.
Yeah. And it's like at first, they're attacking LWO and stuff like that. Okay, they're heels, and now it's like, well, now they're the baby faces in this feud. It's like you guys need to pick what you're actually doing. I feel like they were more of a heel faction. Yeah, what side are they on? Because I feel like if they were a heel, they'd be more successful. Could probably have the titles right now, but that's not the situation. So which is why we need to split these fucking titles. So the tag team division can fucking flourish. Jesus Christ. Ugh.
Yeah. So when I first saw that it was when they first showed Paul Ellering and then they showed AOP in the ring, the first thought that came to my mind was "fuck you, Vince McMahon," because I'm still frustrated over the initial decision to separate Paul Ellering from them, because when they took away Paul Ellering, the whole dynamic of the group changed. I specifically remember the very next week on Raw, they tried to have them speak on their own in like a pre-tape promo, and even that sounded horrible.
Yeah,
I can only imagine how many takes that they did in order to get that to the way it was. But I'm guessing that Vince took Paul Ellering away because he probably thought that the AOP looked weaker with an older gentleman like him next to him, without realizing that this is Paul Ellering, the former manager of the Legion of Doom.
Yeah,
and he has the history and he has the pedigree, and I don't know why you wouldn't use that. And I think AOP suffered because of that, because then they took him over, they took Paul Ellering away, they tried to have him speak. Then they realized what everybody realized, that they can't, that they need a mouthpiece.
Yeah.
So then they had Drake Maverick manage them, which made absolutely no sense because there's no fucking connection between them. And I hated that shit so much. And granted, they did become tag team champions, but
I forgot about that
for the wrong reason.
Forgot about that. Not having Paul Ellering there definitely impacted them a lot. And glad to see him back. Glad to see that we have another situation where Triple H looked at them and said, "Nah, come back here, because we didn't do you justice last time. Now I'm in control, and now I'm gonna finally be able to showcase you guys the way you were showcased in NXT, like when Lewis said they were dominating everybody." I still remember that ladder match that they had with DIY, which led to the breakup. So yeah, brutal, just destroyed those guys. So I'm glad AOP's back. Putting them with Karrion Kross was tremendous. This is definitely gonna put some more interest on Karrion Kross. I loved all the promo packages beforehand when they kind of like took all of Karrion Kross's losses and pretty much said that, like, even though he lost the match, he with every person he was with, he took something away from each person, or each person changed as a result of being in the ring with him, which was a nice little spin on things. Now you add this muscle behind him with Paul Ellering. The only con that I see from all this is that after they feud with Lashley and the Street Profits, then what? Because
the bloodline.
Exactly. That's the only thing. Because after this feud, where do they go from there?
Well, I mean, they've already hinted at it. They hinted at Roman, the match between Bobby and Roman and how they kind of got screwed. And I don't know.
I mean, he's mentioned Roman Reigns in the past, like ever since he's come back. He first mentioned Roman Reigns. So I mean, if that's long-term storytelling, saying that he's going to come after him at some point, it'll be well.
He should. I feel like he deserves that shot, but I really want this group to be dominant.
He's been booked so poorly. Maybe this is a way to reestablish him and get him on the right track. So
I really hope so.
hopefully that's it for Karrion Kross. But the Authors of Pain, they look big. They're jacked. They got Paul Ellingsley. They got Scarlett. So they have all these mouthpieces. They have Karrion Kross to speak for everybody. And hopefully they just start taking everybody out. Hopefully that's the next thing for them. The New Testament. Hopefully that's the name. But let's move on to the Red Burn side of things. Raw